welcome to the stream. Hey, hi, how are you? Oh, I got shit on my face. um, well, I've got years of living, buying how I choose. I ain't never been a gambler, cause I was always bound to lose. Buddies, they drink liquor, sometimes I go alone. I got a girl that don't like that at all. Well, you know I wouldn't fight if these guys wouldn't shove me. Now I can't go home because my baby, she don't love me. There ain't no use in trying anymore. Hi, welcome. Yeah. Okay. So I had to reschedule my stream earlier because I got back after doing my laundry and and I took a nap and I plugged in my phone thinking that like I would take a nice nap and wake up and my phone would be charged, and of course I do wake up right on time and I'm like, oh god, am I ready to do this stream? I guess I am. Look at my phone, it was at 1%. It was not charging while I was sleeping, so I had to reschedule for now. And in the meantime, I also made some food, which I am just now getting time to eat. But yeah, so I've got a little bit of a charge on my phone now, and it's enough to do this stream. So a number of people, I've kind of been like riding this whole like answering folks FAQs about traveling and travel culture, and yeah, today we're gonna talk about how to meet people and make friends on the road, whether you're doing the posh van life or if you're just like straight up bumming around, which, you know, I've done mostly bumming around. Yeah. Places to meet folks. I am notoriously good at making friends wherever I go, but even if you are really good at making fast friends, there's still so many challenges, and you know, the raw deal is if you're traveling, you have to be pretty comfortable with being alone a lot of the time. That's just kind of the nature of the beast. Yeah, thank you, Captain. And also how to get a read on people. Because sometimes people seem really nice and super friendly, but it's the ones that seem a little too friendly that you gotta look out for. So, yeah, we're gonna talk about that. I gotta put some food in my stomach here. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I got hella fucking crossfaded while I was doing laundry earlier because I don't know about you, but when I'm doing laundry, I get bored, and sometimes I want to get fucked up, so I got really stoned, and I had a couple drinks and fucking got back just like fucking zonked out. Fucking laundry day. But now I have all my clean clothes. It's good. So, and yeah, I've been, I guess, like, food is really expensive out here, and I didn't get time to go to the food bank today, so I had to, like, prepare a whole, like, dish, which took a lot of time and energy, but it's good. It's filling me up. It's working. So yeah, I need this. Okay. Cheers. Multitasking. Yeah, me too, Captain. It's all good. We're all scattered today. So I guess I'll start with like just meeting people in general. Sometimes sometimes you're in a new town, and sometimes it's not the town that you're trying to be at, or for whatever reason you're kind of just like in some bumfuck nowhere place. And I don't know about you, but like sometimes it gets really fucking lonely when you're out traveling. Um, and I find that the more um, the more into my own scene that I get, the harder it is to meet people that I'm actually interested in. It's like the more counterculture I go, the more fringe I go, the more my tastes develop to a certain standard. Like, um, and I just don't particularly enjoy hanging out with normies, as I would call them. Like, just your normal folks who do normal things. Like, I don't dislike them. It's just like that's not my crowd. Mm. So it gets harder and harder to meet people that I like really jive with, I guess. Specifically, like I want to hang out with like other people that are queer and punks, mostly. But different strokes for different folks. I'm gonna see who's all in chat here. What's up? Hey, Vernon, Aaron, Captain. Fuck yeah. Yeah, if you're in chat and you want to say hi, say hi. This is one of those ways that you meet people. If you've been lurking, just give a little shout out. Adrienne, what's up? And if you want to be super sweet, I will guaranteed give you a better presentation if I get some type of kickdowns. There is oh shit, did I not do the links in the description? I think I might have forgotten. Um, Maybe I did. I don't know. Somebody tell me if there's links in the description. But if you want to be real sweet, there is a yeah, there's PayPal, Venmo links, Cashapp. Nope. Oh, damn it. Oh shit. That I didn't put in the description. Okay. Well, I fortunately have the captain in chat today, so he'll post some periodically, and after the stream, I will add those. But yeah, so sometimes you're in a town you're not familiar with, and you don't know where the folks are at. Maybe there's not even folks that are like really in your particular niche in that town at all. And it is important um, for your mental well-being and let's see your psychological health to have some type of camaraderie and meet folks. like like I was saying earlier, being on the road and traveling in a particular way, you do have to get used to being lonely a lot. And it is important to become comfortable with that. But sometimes I get so goddamn desperate to meet new folks that I'll just fucking do anything. Like, of course, the obvious stuff that people think of when they want to meet new people is like going to bars or like clubs or whatever. And that's pretty obvious. But the only types of people that you're going to meet at bars and clubs are people that are getting fucked up, and they're there to get fucked up, which is fine if that's your prerogative. And, I did that for many years. I've met a lot of good friends just going to little shithole bars and, being the weirdest motherfucker in the room. So, of course, eventually somebody's going to say something and ask what my deal is. Hey. Thanks, Adrienne. You're so sweet. I love that. And eventually somebody will be like, "Hey, you, what's your deal, traveler? Tell me about your life." And of course, you oblige. And more often than not, after hearing kind of my story, people will want to buy me drinks or a meal or something, which is fine. Sometimes that's what I'm going for, and sometimes I legitimately just want to meet folks. But obviously, that's not sustainable. Like, you can't be relying on going to bars and clubs and like whatever, like drinking establishments to make friends, because otherwise that's all the friends that you're gonna have is people that are drinkers. And I like to keep my repertoire differentiated. Oh, thank you, Chris. So sweet. You guys are great. Um, so like some examples of other places where I meet a lot of my friends are my number one go to is obviously gonna be just like fucking hanging out on the street. Yeah. If you go to where people are gonna be hanging out, when you're busking, you're already trying to find like the pulse of the town that you're at. You're trying to find where there's going to be a lot of people, a lot of foot traffic, and people when they're kind of just meandering around like a downtown, they're a little bit more open to social interactions and meeting people out in the wild, and especially if you have something interesting going on, like you're playing an instrument or you're doing some kind of busking act or you're trying to like hustle your wares or something, like people are already going to be stopping to see what you're up to. And so you get a few minutes of people's time to just kind of like let them know your story and make some type of connection. And sometimes people, like you can exchange like social media info, that type of thing. That's always a good go-to. So if you don't have a street hustle, busking or crafting or something, then you should do that. Find something that you like to do, because that's a really good in. Literally any type of performance art sort of thing. Yeah, people are interested in that sort of thing. But if that's not your speed, if that's not your style, or if it is and you're still looking to branch out more, um, there's so many different ways. Like you can go to shows and stuff, but a lot of people in in our modern American society, especially like you know folks that work for a living at like a 9 to 5 or like a regular type job, their lives are so structured all the time. Their idea of like going out and socializing is a very structured experience. You go to this particular bar and everybody's like hanging out in their cliques, and there's a certain protocol that's expected. I personally like. I'm not above going to stuff like that. I will go to, um, shows and structured stuff. But if you go to like smaller venues, and kind of more niche shows, like stuff that's weird, that's gonna be a better bet, because you're gonna meet people that kind of are more aligning with your particular interests. Like I like to go to punk shows a lot, but again, like with the bars and clubs, like you're just gonna meet like people that are partying. Um, there's one way that I like to meet folks that are more activist minded is by volunteering. Volunteering is always going to be a way to meet people that are like on the level, more activist minded, more community minded, and like going and volunteering for Food Not Bombs. Like pretty much every major city has a Food Not Bombs chapter. It's a really good way to give back to the community and help feed the homeless. But also there's gonna be people that you jive with, and I've made some really great friends that way, and you make friends fast because they want to exchange numbers with you anyway because you're both working with for the community and you're working together. So um, it's useful to keep in contact anyway. And then of course, like after you've worked together, putting together food boxes a few times, maybe they'll want to go out for a hike or something. Um, so like community stuff, like yeah, like volunteer work, protest actions are a good way to meet people too. Like, I'm not saying like go to protests specifically so that you can like, like make friends. Go and find something that you believe in and help out, and it'll just come organically. If you go into any situation trying so hard to make friends that it like impedes everything else that you're doing, then that's going to turn people off and they're not going to want to hang out with you because you just seem like desperate. It's kind of you know, the more you want to make friends, the more people are going to be skeezed out by you. So like, cool it, keep it chill. And you will meet people, and it just, sometimes it doesn't happen as quickly as you want it to. But yeah, keep an eye on local events. Like there's always going to be farmers markets, and with farmers markets, a lot of the time after the main market thing, they're like, especially on like Saturdays or something, they'll have like live music, and that's a really great way like to meet folks. Live music in the park. I've met so many lifelong friends doing that sort of thing. um, oh, and like that type of thing is super good. Like community events, local, not big stuff. Like book readings are a really good one too. Like tap into your local bookstore or like info distributor and see what types of events they're hosting as well. I met a few cool folks when I was in Northfield recently, and there was a book reading and like Q&A for this awesome book that this person wrote about being a lesbian and trying to make friends at clubs, coincidentally. And it was really good. Like, I'd never heard of this book, I'd never heard of this author, but she gave such a cool talk, and it was a really great bookstore. Like, and the types of people that are going to be going to a book reading are the types of people that I want to meet. Um, but I'm somebody that really likes books and like nerdy shit like that, like activism and literature. But maybe you're like more into physical activities. So, at which I am also. So a lot of times I will go to like national parks are cool. You can like, especially where there's climbers. Climbers are really fun to get to know. A lot of them like to smoke weed and fucking shoot the shit while they're waiting to re-energize for their next go at whatever they're climbing. Like, and getting into any sort of activity like that is a really good way to meet people. You'll just organically connect with folks at like, yeah, even if you don't climb, like climbers are really fun to hang out with and talk to. So like that's how I made a lot of friends in and around Joshua Tree, because there's a really healthy climbing scene in Joshua Tree. I'm gonna smoke some weed. Um, but like, national parks are great, and that's like obviously uh, a really simple way to go and make connections, going to national parks. But also state parks are cool. Sometimes there's like weird little niche popular spots that aren't in national parks, like near Joshua Tree when I was staying out in the Mojave last winter. I stayed pretty close to kind of a weird little spot called Giant Rock, and it's like I guess the largest freestanding boulder in North America or some shit. And people just like to go out there, and it's on BLM land, so it's like already somewhere that people can camp for free, um, and like people just hang out there, and yeah, I hung out with like I'm a punk. I'm not typically looking for hippies to hang out with, but I ended up hanging out with some hippies that were camping out there, and they just were out there to smoke weed and climb rocks, and I like both of those things, so we ended up smoking a lot of weed together and climbing rocks and shit, and that was nice. Um, but there's other stuff like that too. Like look for look for weird little spots like that. Like cool caves and like short hikes that anybody can go on, especially if there's like some type of incentive to just kind of like hang out and mill around. The society is not designed for people to just chill in places without paying money to somebody. So like when you do find places like that, especially on like the West Coast, I know that there's places like that like all over the country. But there's definitely more of a culture for that on the West Coast. Just like, there's a lot more hot springs too. Hot springs are a really great way to meet people. Also, a really great way to get clean and relax. So even if you don't meet anybody, at least you got a nice bath and chilled out for a little bit. But like, you're gonna be hard pressed to not strike up a conversation with somebody when you go to a hot spring, or like a public swimming hole or whatever. Yeah, if you're so like yeah, hiking spots, climbing spots, cool little nature zones, places that you can chill. Just like hang out and be cool, and don't come on too strong because you'll scare them away. um, yeah, like all those liminal spaces. Like I make more friends in places that I'm not paying to be, like bars or restaurants or whatever. Like I make more friends doing that and like hanging out on a fucking sidewalk or parking lots or trails or caves or fucking hot springs than I ever make when I'm at like a show or something. I guess at the right show. Like if you find your niche, if you find like when I'm at a punk show or like a counterculture adjacent type show, I make friends like fucking mad, and I'll like go home with like tons of different people's numbers and like dates for throughout the week where people are gonna go and do some other shit, like day shit like art stuff, and activist stuff. uh, but yeah, I guess my biggest piece of advice would be like find your niche and just like go where other people that like what you like are going, and you already know that those people are into what you're into. So like yeah, like I said, for me it's gonna be like music and art and outdoor shit. So that's all pretty easy to find stuff that aligns with that. um, yeah. Oh boy, let's see what folks are saying. What about you, chat? Where do you meet folks when you're out and about? Yes, that's right. Find people who share your passion. Um, like I I didn't know. Well, I guess I guess I knew one person in this town when I came here, and now I know dozens of people. So it does help if you have like one friend in town that will introduce you to the crew, right? So like you're heading to a new spot, just like one person, even if they're not like your best friend, or maybe they're like not even your age, or they have different interests from you. It doesn't matter. Like, people are so used to kind of not everybody obviously, but especially like younger folks are so used to socializing with people that are in your like age group, because you grow up going to school and all your friends are your same age because they're all in your class and doing the same shit. And maybe at uh, your college or your job or something, you're typically hanging out with people. Holy fuck, somebody just ate shit. What the fuck is going on? I'm dying. I gotta know what happened. Hold on. I don't know. Something big went boom. Anyway, you get used to like hanging out with people in your fucking age bracket. So that's some big noise. Somebody's throwing something out a window or something. um, but anyway, um, but if you're not trying to do that and just hang out with folks that are like you can make a lot of friends and be introduced to a fuck ton of stuff that maybe you didn't know that you were interested in. Like, sometimes I hang out with like people that are way older than me. Like old timers are cool as fuck, and they know what the good shit is because they've been around for a while. They can turn you on to stuff that you never really even thought about being into. Satan, shush. I guess, yeah, that's another good way to meet folks too, is just like when you're trying to find gigs. I guess a lot of times I make friends with folks that I do like house chores or like physical work for, and a lot of those people are old timers because maybe they used, like, they're still badasses, but they can't move around as good as they used to, and so they want somebody to do the brute work for them in the yard. And sometimes they'll invite you to stay for dinner, and you just talk to people, hang out with people, like, have an open mind. Like, your clique might be real cool, but somebody that they would never think to hang out with might be like way fucking cooler than you realize. Yeah, Satan's all sketched out. She's like, "What the fuck is happening out there?" It sounded like somebody threw a, like, I don't know, like something really big, like a whole ass couch into the back of a truck or something, like out of a window, but like multiple times. That was crazy. I love to hang out with you, Corn. Hell yeah, Terry. Lodi says, "I think I give a fuck off vibe." Oh yeah, me too. That's that yeah, I do. I have to like really consciously try to not give a fuck off vibe. Um that's actually a really good segue to I guess we're at like halfway through the stream, so I guess I could pivot to like vibes, how to get a read on people, things to look out for, especially when you're traveling, especially when you're new on the road too. Because it's like you might be fresh on the road and you've been out for a minute, and you are starting to get like lonely, or maybe you don't really know how to handle yourself on the road because you've only been out for a little bit, and so you might be a little bit more desperate for camaraderie, companionship, and tips and advice, because it's scary out there when you don't know what the fuck you're doing. Like, I've been there. Like, sometimes I feel like I bite off a little bit more than I can chew, and I don't know where the shit's at or whatever, and I just I just want somebody that knows more than I do to just tell me what's going on. And sometimes that can lead you to trusting people or giving them a little bit more than you should. I'm gonna like I'm gonna vibe on that for a second and drink my fizzy water here. Cheers, fuckers. I'm so fucking high right now. Holy shit. Ugh. I'm gonna pass right back out after this. Actually, I'm gonna hit that again. All right, chat. I want some feedback from chat here. Fucking. How are we feeling? What are we thinking? What would you like to hear me address in this next half-hour block of my stream? Go on, don't be shy. And if you would like to meet some folks in a very straightforward and simple way, you can join the Discord server. There is not a link in the description right now. There will be after I'm not live, and I fixed that. But if one of my mods wants to post the Discord link, that would be just dandy. You should join us. That's a quick and easy way to make friends. And I know a lot of folks in there have more friends than they did before they went in. Ah, there it is. Bada boom. Thanks, buddy. Yes. PS says, just joining. How much have I missed? Well, we're halfway through the stream, buddy. So you missed like the whole first half. I'm about to pivot to another kind of still in the same vein. Not a different topic, but like a different angle to this topic. Love you from NorCal, 110 hot. Jeez. Yeah, it's pretty hot most places. It was actually a lot cooler today than the last few days. Captain says, I go see friends, bands, hang at pirate events, get my fill of people back to seclusion, right? Yeah, I need a lot of time alone too. But when I do want to hang out with people, I really do want to hang out with people. So I'll go on party for like a few days and just like, yeah, event hop and then like burn myself out, which is where I'm at right now. And then, yeah, back to seclusion. I am going to be heading out of here in the next few days, actually. Probably maybe Thursday or Friday, something like that. Gonna go pick up my car in Indiana. Gonna try ride a train, but I'm trying to get better intel on that particular ride. Let's see. Aaron says, how do I protect myself from unfriendly people? Well, what do you mean? We're talking about making friends and meeting people. Like, I don't know. Just tell people to fuck off. Unless they're robbing you, then, I don't know, bear mace them. It ain't that hard. Shake a stick at him. Tell him to fuck off. Free to join, free to stay. Fuck yeah. The cornhole got me through 2020. Same. I was like, oh man. That was like my only social outlet for a while. Fuck. Yeah, during all those lockdowns and the fucking plague and shit. That sucked. Yeah. Why do don't really see anything about anarchy in the mainstream anymore. Well, one, that's not the topic of today, and two, you're not going to ever. That's always been the case. They don't want people to know that they can be free. That's why you go to anarchist events and activist events. Bear mace, yeah, yeah. That's it. That's it. It's not that complicated. Just bear mace them. uh, how to win friends and influence people. Go to fucking punk shows and fucking bear mace robbers. Not at the punk show, but at a different time. Okay, so vetting people. Who's chill, who's not. When you're, yeah, especially when you're fresh on the road, um, you are a fucking magnet for creeps and weirdos that want to take advantage of you. Like, you look fresh. You might not realize how fresh you look, but you do. You look like a fucking pushover. You look like a mark. And people can read that. So, especially in the hippie scene, this is one thing that I noticed in the hippie scene. And, obviously it happens in every scene, but it's, you'll get guys that front. I guess in the train scene too, you get this as well. Like, and it's like mostly guys, and they're gonna front like they're the fucking king shit on whatever it is that you're into. Or like they've been traveling for so long, and that you need them and their information. Uh, Biggest red flag is if they're like too insistent that they are the end all be all knowledge on whatever it is that they're trying to teach you about. Like, if they're like, oh, I've been traveling for 10 years, I know all the spots and all the things and blah blah blah. Like, that red flag. Fuck them. Moment they start getting on that shit, bye, see ya. Don't care about you and your fucking braggadocio. Oh hey, yeah, I forgot I did that. I worked on my tattoo a little bit the other day, kind of trying to fill it in there. Isn't that great? I love it. I'm so happy. I like, yeah, forgot about that. Um, yeah, if they're being too braggy, like, and too insistent, and biggest red flag ever, they call themselves a healer. I have never met a single person in my whole fucking life that self-applied the term healer in some way that wasn't a toxic, narcissistic piece of shit. Straight up. Like, so if you're out there and you're like telling hot young ladies at the fucking rainbow gathering that you do Reiki and you can like heal their soul, fuck you. We all know you're a creep. Yeah, I'm gonna expose you. Fucking red flag motherfuckers. Yeah, it's always the fucking like wook dudes with the ketamine and the fucking massages and shit. Yeah, fuck that. If they're like trying way too hard to insist that they can make you feel good, then they're a predator. Um, and it's typically in like drug culture type of stuff too, because when you're partying and stuff, things feel a little bit differently, especially like pleasure type stuff, or like people trying to front like there's some type of spiritual such and such. Yeah, yeah, big red flags. Or if they're feeding you a bunch of drugs and or booze, big red flags. Like, yeah, I mean, if you can see that they're doing that and that's their end game, and they want to get you fucked up because they want to take advantage of you. I'm terrible with this. I see that and I'm like, this motherfucker thinks that he's gonna get me so fucked up that I'm gonna want to fuck him or something. Um, but I'm trying to get fucked up, and this guy's a fucking sucker. And yeah, I'll accept your free drinks and um, whatever. But I have a high tolerance. I'm insane. I will drink any of you motherfuckers under the table. Not everybody can do that, so don't obviously bite off more than you can chew. But like, I mean, I'm a fucking street kid. Like, you can take the kid out of the street, but you can't take the street out of the kid, right? So, yeah, I'll hustle those toxic motherfuckers. That's my specialty, actually. I don't know if you know that. Ew. It's so fucking funny. Um, the best kind of people that I've ever met are like I've met people like on paper it would be a sketchy situation, but like in reality, um, it turns out to be cool. Like when I'm hitchhiking, and sometimes people, especially in like really rural places, they'll be like, "Well, we're in the middle of nowhere. Like, if you don't get picked up, then maybe you can sleep in my barn or something, and we can drink some beers together later." And it'll just be like some guy in a fucking shed in the middle of nowhere, and like that's that's always turned out to be a good choice. I mean, that it's sketch, but like try if they're not trying too hard and they say it like that and they're just like, hey, like if you want to come chill, that's cool. Because like a lot of times people in the middle of nowhere don't really meet new people a lot, so they have to be kind of forward anyway, in order to make new friends. Just like sometimes you just have to be forward. When you're traveling, you only get so much time um, to like hang out with a person, get to know them. So don't be afraid. Be aware that like things can go south, but don't be afraid of it. Like no risk, no reward, right? So take those risks, but don't delude yourself about the type of risk that you are taking. Like recognize that you're in the middle of the woods with a strange man, But go and do that though. go go and hang out with the weird man in the woods. It's fun. It's cool. But try and be armed. If you are gonna be going out into the world taking risks and shit, like be assess, like have a plan B and C and D. Like how are you gonna deal with if certain things happen, and also like I said about different types of gear that you want to have. You want to have your hip knife. Like if you don't have a fixed blade on your hip or on your person, um, have one and be good with it. Be really good with it. Throw it, practice with it, and or whatever your weapon of choice is. Not like you don't try to intimidate people with it. That's not the point of it. You want people to not know that you're good with it because then they underestimate you. So then when they put you in a situation, that you take them by surprise and then you get the upper hand. So don't flaunt your skills. Just get good at them. Because other people don't need to know that you're good at this and that. Other people don't need to know that you're packing. They just don't. It's not. That's not the point. Especially like up in Alaska, everybody's packing. Everybody's got a gun on their hip, and like you don't need to address it. And I ended up at this guy's gold mining shack, and there's an AK by the door. There's like guns fucking everywhere. He had like maybe 6 on his person in his truck and shit. But you can only fire 2 guns at a time, or one if it's a bigger one. And I just have the one gun and I'm quick with it. So I felt, even though I was outgunned in theory, in practice I would not be because I'm a quick draw. And that's not a hard thing to get good at. Yes, have backup weapons too. Yeah. Yeah, when I'm out actively traveling, I got my necklace knife, the one like on me. Everybody can see it, so they know that I've got that. And then I got my belt knife, so I got one for each hand. And they're both weighted pretty well, so I could throw them too. But like, they're both tiny. They're tiny little fucking knives. Um, like my belt knife, the blade is only about yay long, and my necklace knife is like that long. But it doesn't matter. Like, me with those two against somebody with a giant fucking Bowie knife, like you can bet on corn. Flashlight, stun guns. There you go. Hell yeah. That's a good one too. Stun guns are like you just pretty much just put the pointy, not the pointy end, the electrical end on the other person. Yeah, practice your self defense skills so that you can put yourself into potentially sketchy situations. So that will up your quality of life. Take it from me. I've never had more fun than I do when I'm out in the world, pushing the limits and whatnot. It's a great way to meet much more interesting people of like higher caliber, like career petty criminals and activists and people that are doing like kind of sketchy shit that is a lot of fun to do. If you get further and further into whatever scene you're into, you'll meet more and more interesting folks doing bigger and bigger stuff. And then once you kind of like get through that, you kind of like break through to another level, and then it like opens up even more opportunities to meet people of a specific niche. Now we're talking self-defense gear, and I like it a lot. Um, yeah, that might be another good topic for the future. What would be something that would be a telltale sign that somebody's a piece of shit? There's not there's not really any like, obviously there's tons of red flags. Like if you get there's a difference between having like a weird feeling and actually getting a bad read on somebody. Um, if you're around intoxicants at all, that's already like cause to be on guard. So if you're like drinking at a bar, be on guard. Or if you're like getting high with somebody or something like that, that's already a situation where your judgment is clouded and maybe another person might have home front advantage. Like, know when it's time to leave if you're getting fucked up with somebody. And if they're really a cool person, then they'll meet up with you later and hang out. You know, if they're trying to get you to stick around when you're like ready to leave, then that's like confirmation that you should go. If they're like, "Oh no, please stay," blah blah blah, like if you've already said that you want to head out, then just head out. Any like any arbitrary boundary that you might have, like, say you say like, I don't like when you say that sort of thing, and then they try to argue about like why it's okay that they said that thing that you didn't like, instead of saying, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that triggers you or bothers you. If they're like, oh no, it's okay though, because like, I got a friend who's like that and blah 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 blah, and like, no, they're already pushing your boundaries. If they push your boundaries at all, or like, you know, um, like there's so many different ways that people can not give a fuck about boundaries. And if they're already pushing like small, like social boundaries with you, then they're gonna keep pushing it a little further and further and further until they get you in a compromising position. All right, we're at 10 minutes till the top of the hour here. If you want to take a minute, I am very fucking kind of hard up lately, and I have been. I know a bunch of people have been throwing down last couple of streams, and you guys are really saving my ass. This town is kind of expensive to be in, and I've been working to, well, shit, do a lot of things, and I don't want to take up all of my stream explaining what I'm doing right now, but suffice it to say, if you would like to throw down and help support what I'm doing out here, then I can bring more better content to you, and yeah, keep working on improving my own life. So there's Venmo, PayPal, Cash App. Yeah, I really appreciate any kickdowns. It's a lot better to kick down directly than through YouTube, because YouTube takes a big cut. So yeah, that helps. I'm gonna take a look and see if All right. We did get those two from earlier, so thank you guys so much. Fuck. Mm. I'm gonna eat so many noodles after this. So fucking hungry. And then I'm gonna go to sleep. Let's see. And yeah, join us in the Discord. That is a really great way to meet folks. Sometimes people from the Discord meet up and hang out too. That's, meeting up with people online, not just through my channel or whatever, but like whatever kind of stuff you're into. It's great. Like, check out the internet forums that people have, and I'm probably gonna meet up with some people from a Signal chat. If you're not on Signal, you should get Signal, especially if you're an activist or a punk or a traveler. Like, all the cool kids are on there, and then sometimes you can go and get invited to groups once you kind of tap into different scenes. And so I'm probably gonna be going on a boat in the Atlantic, uh, probably like end of August, because a friend that I met in New Orleans through I met him through the library in New Orleans. I was volunteering with anarchist punk space, and helping to get the anarchist library up and running. And you know uh, so I met him out of that same place. They also do like food distribution, so that's another really great way. I talked about like food not bombs, but like food distribution is a really great way to meet cool folks. um, and we ended up traveling together for a minute, and he invited me to a boat punk Signal group chat. And I've been kind of lurking it for a while, because when I went down to New Orleans last time, they were at the same time doing a boat meetup that I wasn't going to be able to make it to, because I was just in New Orleans for like 2 weeks. But yeah, so I've been following it since then. It's exciting. I've been wanting to get my foot in the door with uh, like people that travel by boat for a long time. And yeah, so that's really important. It's like, for these folks, it's just going to be a fun, like, I'm sure that they do outings like this all the time, but for me, it's like a huge opportunity, because I'll be able to meet all those folks that are going to be on this boat, and get like a basic rundown and understanding of how these people operate. Oh shit. Thank you, Tira. You're such a fucking darling. Oh my goodness. Appreciate you so much. Fucking cheers. All right. Yeah, so that's like an example of getting further into a niche and then finally getting your foot in the door. Don't underestimate, and don't undervalue opportunities like that, just because you like maybe you don't feel like it, or you feel like kind of um, what's the word, like, not anxious, but apprehensive, or like shy. I don't know, like, overcome that shyness and just do stuff. Like, nobody's gonna be like, ew, who is this fucking weirdo here? Like, if you're genuinely just out to like try something new, there's literally, if people are like, ew, who is that, then like it's probably not your scene anyway. But mostly, like, people that are passionate about something, and like, like climbers or sailors or hikers or bikers or whatever it is that you're into, artists, musicians, these people understand the value of what they're doing, and how good it is for them, and they want to welcome other people in the scene and give other people a chance to experience what they are into. And they've got valuable information, and if you're humble and not trying to like front like you know more than you do, then they'll gladly give you all sorts of information and introduce you to more people. So like, I guess at the end of the day, you can go and do all of these things and meet people and make friends and whatever, but like, unless you've got your vibe aligned properly, then you're not gonna attract the kind of like you're not you can only attract as high of a vibe as you're putting out, if that makes sense. So like, like if you come on too strong and you're too desperate and you're being the fucking red flag creeper that's like, no, stay, I got more booze, come on, let's hang out, like, or whatever, or you're trying to front like you know more than you do, you're only gonna attract people like that, like, um, or fool people that are newer for so long until they realize that you're a scumfuck and you're taking advantage of them. So like, get right with yourself, and don't have your motivation be that you're trying to get stuff from somebody, like, or try to get something from someone. Like, just be there to learn and have fun and be humble and go into a situation to help as much as you can. And just come in with pure intention and you'll get good things. Like, sometimes you'll fuck up and people will take advantage of you, and as long as you're trying your best, it's not your fault. Shit happens. Bad things happen to good people every fucking day. And don't let that stop you from getting out there and trying new things. Yes. Do the things. Don't be shy. Don't be a dick. It's really not that hard. I have gone into towns knowing nobody, like when I was like fresh on the road, and I just like go and see like a group of people and I'd be like, hey, where's the shit at? Like, where's the cool stuff? And they'd be like, what do you mean? And I'd be like, I don't know, where's cool stuff at? And like, you get mixed responses. Sometimes people will be like, oh, there's this bar over there that all the people like you like to hang out at. And you'll be like, people like me? And they'll be like, oh yeah, you're like a punk, right? And it's like, well, yeah, I guess so. But sometimes they'll like, have weird suggestions that you wouldn't expect. Just go and talk to people. And if they don't want to talk to you, then they'll they'll let you know, and then go find somebody else to talk to. Yes, Cam just posted a link to the t-shirt, the official Reprobate t-shirt. It's a pretty cool shirt. I like it, and I rock it periodically. I've got mine in my trunk back in my bus so that it doesn't get trashed. It's already like on its last legs. It's got a few wears left in it though. It's nice and ragged. Oh hell yeah! Check out Aaron's jewelry too. Yeah, your stuff's been getting pretty cool, Aaron. Support OG Reprobate. Buy some jewelry. Or get down with the kickdown. If you're having a good time and you found this talk to be informative, then I would suggest, if you haven't already, to hit the subscribe button and hit the like button. I am getting pretty close to fucking off at this point. Damn, you lost your shirt, Aaron? Shit, that sucks. Oh, shit. That happens. Alright. Yeah. Meet me in the Discord. Come say hi. And I hope that you got something out of this. And if you have any ideas for other topics that you'd like to hear me cover in the future, make sure you leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Even if it seems like kind of silly. I'm always looking for new stuff to talk about. Oh boy. What a day. I'm gonna go and eat some delicious noodles and pet my dog and get really stoned and pass back out. Alright, I'll see you guys later. Bye. Thanks for joining me.